Good morning, everybody. Hui, how you doing? Welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the stream. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Today is Sunday, the 5th of June, 2022. I'm Darkside Phil. And I'm in recovery. I'm in recovery mode, man. Yesterday was a hell of a day, right? I know we're going to be talking about this a bit today, but let me tell you guys something. I am so glad that today we are pretty much all day long doing chill streaming. And what I mean by that is with Skyrim on the first stream and then some Zelda Link to the Past on the late stream, right? It's going to be nice and relaxing and interactive and fun, and we're just going to have a good day today. Recuperating. Just, I don't even think there's another real way to say it. Yesterday, I don't think we all knew what we were getting into, right? And don't worry, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, we're going to talk about it in just a moment here. But, wow. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope that, after everything yesterday, right? I wonder if anyone will be able to even like watch all of that. Seriously, like it was just insane. I guess we might as well just start talking about it, or I might as well. Yesterday was my React event where I reacted to the John and Howard video from 2015, which, I called it the response video, but a lot of people called it like a hit piece or an attack on me at the time. And I never had responded to it formally. Every once in a while, I would like do a little, answer here or there on like a battle royale stream or whatever. But, man, that was an ordeal. First of all, just to go down memory lane, right? And as I'm going through my history with these guys, I'm remembering the good times and all the fun we had together. Because you might say, what about the bad times? There were no bad times. Really, there weren't. All the bad times came later after having moved across the country and losing touch and all the drama that happened on the internet as a result of that. Every moment I spent with those guys in person was good, And that's what I mean. Like, some people actually, it's funny. They say stuff like, well, Phil, doesn't this, like, taint the past, right? With everything that happened in your past with these guys, and, obviously the bad blood, they would have made a video like that if there wasn't bad blood. Isn't the past ruined, right? No, absolutely not. From my perspective, all right, all those times that we had together back then, we're talking at this point, the best of times, the best co-op playthroughs and everything, we're about a decade ago. Right now, during this time frame, right now, a decade ago, was Project 7, where we were releasing the episodes over the course of the year. We were filming. We were, working on promotion, going to conventions to advertise and showcase the show. Pretty crazy thing that it's a decade ago at this point. But those were great times, I can look back fondly on those times, remembering how much fun they were, how positive everything was at the time. Those playthroughs from back in the day are immortalized on my channel. You can go watch them at your own leisure whenever you want and understand that there was no bad blood. It was all enjoyment of games, enjoyment of our friendship, and the attitude that, hey, we're just here to mess around and have a good time. This isn't a professional level piece of work. This isn't a highly advertised, a highly promoted, a highly edited, a highly produced piece of content. This is just a bunch of friends getting together, dicking around, turning on a camera and tossing it on the internet. That was always kind of the attitude that we had towards it, right? So no, I don't look back to the past like that in a very negative light at all. I look back to it fondly and say, wow, that was a great time in my life. I know it was a great time in their lives. You know. But man, I don't think any of us knew what we were getting into yesterday. Reacting to their video, but then adding the context in of everything they were saying, added another hour. So it was a 2.5 hour video. And then me adding in the context, the background, and everything I had to say from my perspective was 8 hours. Yes, I'm not kidding. So if you're ready or you're planning on watching that thing, you better have like a whole day lined up and cleared up. Because 5 videos, and each video was roughly about an hour and a half long. One of them was 2 hours long. So you need 8 hours to watch the damn thing. And even then, I feel like even after that, you don't really understand the whole thing in just one watching. Because, for example, I had to rewatch their video, John and Howard's video, multiple times to kind of catch everything, to understand everything. It's very disjointed. It's very not in any kind of an order at all. I don't know if that was intentional or not. It was all over the place. So yeah. So just to forewarn all of you, if you are interested in watching me reacting to the John and Howard video, you need a lot of time, and it's going to be a lot of investment too, because there's a lot of heavy shit talked about in that video about my past. Me fessing up to basically being an asshole, not a very good friend to them many times over the course of the friendship, which is one of the reasons that it resulted in the way it did. But also, talking about a lot of my issues that I had, mentally, because of some really messed up stuff that was happening at certain times in my life, and how that affected the way that I reacted or did, had attitude towards them, or even, the things I said and did on the internet to some extent. Thank God I'm in a much better place now, for sure, but to go back to that, put myself into that position again was very exhausting, to say the least. I was in this room yesterday from 10:45 a.m. until about 10:45 p.m. And the only time that I got up was one time I used the restroom, one time I went to get the food for Feasting with the King, all right? And then I put the food back, and that was it. Like, I was in here all day long. I had a splitting headache by like 6:30 p.m., and I had to go pop and leave and to even continue. And then there's another 3 hours or more. It was more like almost 4 or more hours after that, Like, holy shit. That absolutely was the longest stream I've ever done, in history, 10 to 10, uninterrupted, essentially. Now, what I will say is this. You want to go watch the PreStream podcast, there's definitely a different vibe. You want to watch Feasting with the King, there's definitely a different vibe. Feasting with the King was Vietnamese food, which, oh boy. Let me just put it this way. Some of the stuff was actually pretty good, and I'm like, wow, I would like to try that again. And basically the main course was absolutely disgusting. Like, wow, I would never have that ever again. That was fucking, I don't even know how anyone would like that. It's got to be an acquired taste. Let's put it that way. So anyway, pretty crazy. All right, and again, it's all online at your own leisure. You can watch it whenever you're ready. All right, it's not monetized, the entire React event. Now, of course, I know when I do an event like that, that's meaningful, that's going to explain a lot of stuff. Know that you're going to get a lot of complete horseshit from disgusting, vile people. And I'm not going to sit here and name names or anything. But you know who they are out there. People who are absolutely just terrible human beings. Don't deserve a platform to do the shit that they do. All right? They shouldn't have one. Saying some of the nastiest things possible about me. I fully knew it was going to happen. I demonetized the entire event. And now the videos are uploaded to YouTube, demonetized. Oh, but you have super thanks on. Yeah, it's called super thanks on the channel. You can't just turn it off for certain videos. Like, Either I have super thanks or I don't. So I should just disable super thanks forever permanently on my channel because I have 5 demonetized videos uploaded to the channel according to these people, right? Genius level intelligence. Or, oh, you know, Phil murdered his friend T in the 90s. He's a murderer, you know, or crocodile tears. Oh, yeah, that was definitely crocodile tears. I mean, it's just, to me, it's like, at this point, I've already had everything possible said about me on the internet. Like, pretty much everything. So, to be called a murderer at this point is like, it's just like, whatever, man. You know, seriously, like, what? I don't even care. I actually had 2 different people this morning contact me, and they're like, you absolutely, positively need to start flagging content on the internet. Because yesterday, it was some of the most vile things they'd ever seen with the shit that people were actually saying about me. And basically, like they're like, it's one thing to make fun, it's another thing to even defame, but it's another thing entirely to, like, actually have vile, malicious intent. And that, you know, there's quite a few people who restreamed my content yesterday. Like, that was exactly what they were doing. They were just being insanely vile. And, like, to the point where they're like, this can't be allowed on YouTube. I mean, the things they're saying have to be against community guidelines. I'm like, yeah, but you gotta understand something. Like, I've been here, done that. How many years? This has been happening to me for so long, man. This is just normal activity on the internet towards me. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't anything out of the norm. This isn't like, wow, they went above and beyond. It's like, no, this is like a normal weekend where, you know, I sneeze and, you know, hear the expose on Phil sneezing and how awful it was, right? I'm not surprised, you know, to hear stuff like, or DSP is monetizing his friends. What are you talking about? The entire thing was demonetized. To the extent that I could, and not harm my channel, you know, I didn't want to risk losing my business, my home, and everything, my livelihood, over one event. So no, I wasn't going to completely demonetize my channel for the event and then hope that I can remonetize it right away, because I don't trust YouTube. To be honest, I just don't. YouTube has all this shit in place and just assumes it all works. It almost never does, you know? Do I really believe that I can completely demonetize my channel at the click of a button and then I can immediately fully remonetize it with another click of the button? No, I do not. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form. I think what would happen is it would probably fuck up. It would be delayed. You know, I'm not going to fuck around with that. It's one thing to say, all right, no contributions, please, during the event. You know, there will be small portions monetized, but for the most part, no ads, no contributions, please. And for the most part, you know, you guys listened, and I'm happy about that. Like, that yesterday was not about that at all. It wasn't a normal business day for me. It was a special event that I wanted to clear the air. After 7 years, I finally said my piece. You know, I gave my perspective. I think it was eye-opening for a lot of people. And, you know, one thing that I do want to say, and I didn't say this at the end of it yesterday because I was too exhausted and I forgot. You have to understand something. What I did yesterday was my subjective perspective. Mine. It's not objective. That was not an objective viewing. That was a subjective perspective. All right? That's how life is. You are a subject, and everything you do is from your subjective perspective. You can't be objective unless you're not involved in a situation at all and you're seeing it from the outside. Then you can objectively judge something. There's no way I can objectively judge anything that I did yesterday because I was involved in all of it, you know? So I can't, you know, but at the very least, what I feel is that I showed, all right, oh, by the way, I didn't have pop-ups enabled. Oops. Yeah, I didn't have pop-ups enabled because I got a tip. I was like, huh? And I was like, oh, the pop-ups are still disabled from yesterday. So hopefully they work now because I now clicked on them. We'll actually go, when I go to gameplay, I have to make sure I have them enabled there too. But anyway, you know, if anything, I hope what I did is I gave a frame of reference so that now, moving forward, when people want to talk shit about the past and things that people have said about me, and you say, yeah, but you know, even Phil's closest friends didn't like him and betrayed him. I was like, actually, you should go watch Phil's react on that because he has a lot to say about it. He waited long enough to even say a word about it because he didn't want to hurt his friends any further than he already had. He waited 6.5 years to even say his piece because he knew that it wouldn't hurt them anymore at that point. You know, and now you can actually see from his perspective everything that was going on. It's very eye-opening, right? So, but anyway, it was subjective. You gotta understand that. That's my perspective. That's my take. Everyone will have a different opinion. Everyone will. Some people will watch that and say, you know, Phil was completely in the right. You know, it was messed up how things happened to him. Other people will look at it and say, nah, you know, Phil still screwed up bad, and John and Howard were completely in the right. Some people will say, okay, well, life isn't black and white. Here's a situation where it's classic. Some things happen on one side, some things happen on another side. There's good stuff, there's bad stuff on both sides, and you end up with a shitty situation, which is pretty much exactly how I feel. You know, and what I do is I look at other situations from people that are very similar. And like I mentioned in the video a few different times, before I ever went into any kind of a relationship that was a business style relationship, you know, with John or Howard or anybody else, there was a situation where I had known that there was a group of guys who were content creators on the internet called, you know, Screw Attack, and two guys who were in charge were Stuttering Craig and Handsome Tom. And they made tons of content over the years together. Absolutely loved doing everything they did. Went to conventions together. I hung out with them at a convention, you know, and stuff like that. And they had a falling out because of this, because of business, because of money, because of, you know, bad relations between them. To the point where, guess what? They stopped talking to each other entirely. They went off and did their own things on the internet. Okay? Gee, sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? Right? And I think, oh, well, you know, I'm different from that. I'm better than that. I'm smarter than that. I will use that, you know, as a way to basically have an example of what not to do. And then what happens, right? So anyway, I'm glad it's done with. It was incredibly exhausting. Let me tell you guys. That was probably the most tiring thing. I'm still tired now. It was probably the most tiring thing that I've ever done for the internet. And that's including the days when I filmed for Project 7. That's including previous marathons. That's including everything. Like, seriously. Anything, marathon editing, when I was doing the edited content for KO Gaming. Like, no, that took the most out of me. Because not only was it physically draining to be in here for 12 straight hours pumping out that stream, but it was mentally draining to go down memory lane and try to remember all of that and try to bring it all up. Because, by the way, like I told you guys, that took a lot of research. That took a lot of behind-the-scenes work to bring up. I had copious notes that I was referencing frequently during the event to make sure that I didn't forget important stuff. And I'm sure I did, too. And that's the thing, you know. A 2.5-hour video, but I have to add in so much context and so much back information you guys weren't even aware of that even existed, that I'm sure, absolutely sure, that there's going to be, you know, missed stuff. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm not perfect. I can only do my best, to the best of my ability, you know, in a time frame that I had. And the thing is, you know, I didn't enjoy it at all. You know, most days when I'm here live on stream with all of you, I'm having a great time and we're relaxing, we're interacting, we're having fun together. And that was not yesterday. Yesterday was not fun for me at all. To me, yesterday was an arduous task. It was a lot of really tough, you know, reminiscing and trying to do things in a way that I felt were appropriate without going over the top and losing it, which was hard because you guys know I can get emotional. You see me get emotional at games every single day. The last thing I wanted to do was lose control and start going crazy, you know, raging and all of this. That wasn't the purpose, you know. But at least as of now, the way I see it, it's over with, right? I've said my piece. You've seen things from my perspective. You don't have to believe it. You don't even have to like it, but at least it's out there now and it's done with, you know? And as I said yesterday, that is my last piece on that, all right? From now on, if you guys say, what about John and Howard? I say, what about them? I did an 8-hour show on them. Go watch it and leave me alone. You know? I mean, that's so far in the past at this point, you know? So far removed from any chance of having any kind of effect on my current life that is very different now, that there's just no point in dwelling on it any longer now that I've done that, right? Because that's the thing. It was always an open-ended thing. Well, there was a thing on one side, but there was never anything from the other side. Now you've got it, okay? And that's that, all right? I'm done for it, or with it, all right? So understand that. I'm not going to be talking about it anymore after today. I'm done, all right? It's in the past. It's not anything I'm going to be promoting. It's not anything I'm going to be talking about actively because I'm done with it. It's over with. It's retired. In my opinion, we're done. That's the past, right? So please understand that. And, of course, as you know, there will be people who will try to troll regarding it. I don't care. You're just going to get banned. I don't give a shit. It's done. I'm no more. I'm not. There's nothing else to say about it. You ask me a single question about John and Howard, you're off base. There's just nothing to say about it whatsoever, you know, in any way, shape, or form. So, and so, my friends, thank you. You know, thank you for allowing me to have that airing, because it was like an airing of feelings, an airing of everything. And like I said, yes, man, I was exhausted. I'm so exhausted right now. Seriously, I'm like completely pooped. Not only physically, you know, physically you can recover mentally. I'm so pooped from doing it. All right. I'm happy that today we are doing relaxing stuff, right? I need it today. I need to relax with you guys and have a good time today. What's funny is I'm on allergy meds and my sinuses are still swollen. Like I took them last night before I went to bed. And I still have a swollen left sinus. It's ridiculous. Like it's snowing outside. I'm not kidding. It's snowing outside right now. There is snow coming down. Only it's not, it's not typical snow. It's pollen outside. It looks like it's snowing with the amount of pollen in the air. It's cotton floating all around. You know, it's ridiculous how bad it is. So, anyway, all right. That's done. I'm glad it's over with. Got it off my chest. We're out of here with that crap, all right? So, all I can say is this. Ignore all the crap on the internet. I don't give a shit about these idiots saying whatever they say. Who cares? I'm so above that shit. I'm so past that shit. You know, you guys know we have fun here on the streams, and that's all we care about. That's it, all right? All right. So, let's talk about this week, the schedule coming up this week. Oh, good, the pop-up worked. Good, because I turned it back on, now the pop-up's working. Excellent. Okay, so, yes, all right. Full disclosure, everyone. Let's do it. Today we're back to business, back to streaming as usual, and that means everything is back, you know. Yes, there will be advertisements on this stream. Yes, there will be advertisements on the videos that I upload today. Yes, you can contribute in any way you would like, including a membership, a gifted membership, a super chat, a super sticker, a tip. Super thanks if you're watching this on demand on YouTube. It would certainly be appreciated to get some support today, considering the fact that yesterday, for the vast majority of the stream, it was demonetized. Yes, yesterday was basically kind of a day when I didn't make anything, and that's okay. That's okay. I always knew that's what it was going to be. You know, I didn't want it to be a day like that. It wasn't the point of yesterday. All right? But now it'd be great today to have a good day. You know, a good day today on stream. Let's see what happens, okay? All right. So let's talk about the coming week in the future, which is what's really important. Not the past, but the future, right? So today it is Skyrim Anniversary Edition here on the first stream. Okay? And, my friends, it's going to be a relaxing session because we're going to be doing the Stormcloaks plotline. Alright? And the Stormcloaks plotline is the political plotline that you have to choose a side of who's going to basically be in charge of Skyrim. And it should be entertaining. It's something that I've been holding off on. I did like side content for like 3-4 straight streams since we finished up with the Dragonborn DLC. And now it is time to do this plotline. I don't remember how long it is. Then again, I did the Imperial side my first run, 11 years ago. So I don't necessarily know how much content is going to be in this plotline. When we're done with that, really, there's only one thing left to do before we beat the game, and that is the Dawnguard DLC. That's the DLC regarding vampires and vampire hunting. And I guess we usually play through it and then you make a choice, who you're siding with and everything. Hopefully it's good. I don't really remember much about it. At the same time, the Dragonborn DLC was very good, so I think I can trust that it's going to be entertaining. If it's anything like the Dragonborn DLC, likely it's going to be another 10 to 15 hours of content. So you're talking about another 1 to 2 weeks of streaming Skyrim. What we're going to be doing is just the DLC. Okay? And then, once that is done, then we're going to finish the game. Of course, we're not doing all this today. This is just, me telling you kind of the roadmap for Skyrim. We're almost done with it, if you can believe it. Okay? Wow. Well, I've been playing it for 6 months. It's about time, right? DC is here, and he has a nice, relaxing haiku for all of us today. He says, hopefully this will cheer me up. I think this will cheer everybody up. He says, the colorful lights, the horizon shining blue, the rising sunrise. Again, beautiful, like the haikus from Ghost of Tsushima, right? Relaxing, inspiring. Thank you. If you're wondering why my voice is sounding like this today, obviously it sounds pretty rough. It's because I was talking all day yesterday, A typical day for me. Do I talk a lot? Yes. Mostly on the PreStream podcast. Some commentary during the day, but I usually get a break. I talked for 12 hours straight yesterday. My voice is shot. There's nothing can be done about that. If I need a lozenge, I'll go get one. And also my sinus is swollen. You can hear it. So I'm not gonna sound 100% today. As always, what I hope will happen is over the course of today, it'll get better. It usually does. Okay. All right. So a nice, relaxing, interactive, and chill stream of Skyrim. This is what I need today. I need a nice stream where we can just chill and have fun. Yes, we'll have fun with the game, but I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of fun conversation and chill interaction and just this is the good kind of streaming. It really is. Then later tonight, I feel that you guys will join me tonight. Will enjoy tonight. Excuse me. I'm all over the place. Let's try this again. Tonight on the late stream, I'm continuing on with The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, and I feel that this has been a really cool and meaningful playthrough for me because it's a game that's one of my favorites of all time, my favorite Zelda game of all time. Re-experiencing it with you guys as the live audience has been super fun. And I'm having a great ball with it. I'm having a blast. I can't wait for more. We've already beaten 4. I'm pretty sure we've already beaten 4 of the dungeons. We have to do another 4 before we get to the end of the game. So probably we'll do 2 more tonight. I would think that's the pace we've been doing, is around 2 dungeons a night. They are going to get harder, progressively harder as I play through. So we'll see how it goes. But it should be a good time. Hope you guys will join me for that tonight. Tomorrow, we may actually finish 2 different playthroughs tomorrow. So we got WWE 2K22. And WWE is a game where... WWE is a game where I've been following along a simulated career of my created wrestler. And I've now been on all 3 shows that WWE runs. So I'm at a point now where we're basically near the end. And all there really is left to do is win the final world title that I didn't get yet. And maybe defend it a few times. And I've pretty much done everything that there is in the game. Not to say that I've absolutely completed every single plot line in the game, but, you know, I did a lot of the meaningful ones. We saw what the game has to offer at this point. So I think it's time to try to wrap it up as much as I possibly can. Okay? So we'll see what happens there. I've just win a Royal Rumble match, which I've already spent like 40 minutes trying to win, and I can't because on Legend difficulty, the game constantly just breaks its own rules and cheats in order to win. It seems like it's pretty much unwinnable on Legend. So we'll see. Maybe I'll have to lower the difficulty, but hopefully make progress. And depending on how it goes, it might be my final stream of the game, or maybe we'll do one more. Really depends. Tomorrow night, the late stream is Uncharted 2. All right, and we are in the end game of that game. The game has 27 chapters, and we're starting chapter 23. So it's very possible with tomorrow night's stream we may finish it. What's funny about that is if we do finish it tomorrow night, that means the game is only 10 hours long. And man, I remember Uncharted being way longer than that. But maybe it's just my memory, you know, misremembering because, again, like I said, rose-colored glasses. When you look back at these games from the past, at the time they were like the best games, you hold them up in this high regard. I kind of compared this directly to, you know, when I was playing Mass Effect Trilogy. Was it last year? So I'm replaying the Mass Effect games, and I'm like, okay, so Mass Effect 1, right, was a really great game. I still enjoy it to this day. I think it still holds up, even with its shortcomings. Mass Effect 2, I remembered being the best game in the franchise, and I had replayed it actually the year before, and even then I was like, oh, it's all right, it's decent, but, you know, certainly I was playing through it, I was like, man, this isn't really the masterpiece I remember, right? And in Mass Effect 3, don't even get me started, Mass Effect 3 is literally a grind fest of combat. They took, like, all the fun shit out of the game. So, yeah, that's what it is I think when you play those games in context of when they were new, perhaps they were some of the best games ever. When you play them 10, 15 years later, like I'm playing this one 13 years later, Uncharted 2, we've now played so many games that have, you know, improved upon that formula and or made it better. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, with Uncharted 2, we've already played Uncharted 3, we've already played Uncharted 4, we've already played the expansions, you know. So we've already played games just in the same franchise that were dramatically better. So of course you're going to play this game and be like, it doesn't feel as good. But in time, it blew everyone away, right? So yeah, I might beat it. I might literally beat the game tomorrow night, 10 hours. It seems so short to me. For a game that was like a AAA game, a lot of people said, oh, Uncharted 2 was game of the year. Only 10 hours. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, that's the rest of the streaming week today and tomorrow. I'm off on Tuesday. Oh, man, well, I need the day off on Tuesday to recuperate. And then this week coming up is a very interesting week for sure. Definitely a good variety of things incoming. So, Wednesday, all right, I'm going to continue on with Skyrim. I think the late stream on Wednesday, it's kind of up in the air, but I think I'm either going to do another Pac-Man Museum stream or more Zelda, but I might do Pac-Man Museum because I've done it in a bit now. And then Thursday, there is no gameplay on the main stream because Thursday is Summer Games Fest. Starting at 11 a.m. Pacific time, the Summer Games Fest event begins. And so I will be streaming that live. I will be reacting to it live, much like I did with the Sony State of Play. And, you know, I do have something to say about the Sony State of Play React. So it was my first one ever. I really enjoyed doing it. But much as I expected, it didn't really get that much traction on YouTube. If you take a look now, when was it? Thursday? And guess how many views it has on YouTube right now? I think it's like 4,000. I'm like, nah. You know, it didn't blow up. People weren't so super excited for it or anything, which I kind of expected. You know, all these years, people screaming at me, Phil, you've got to do live react. Phil, it's the biggest thing. Everyone does it. Why would you not do the live react? So finally I said, fine, I'll do it. You know, I do it and didn't really get that much attention or anything, you know. Not to say that I'm displeased. I'm not, you know. As an event, it was fun to do. The people on the live stream seem to enjoy it. But it's not like it was, oh, wow, Phil's first live react. We asked him for 7 years to do this. Let's do it. And it blows up. And it was nothing like that at all. It was just kind of, it happened. You know? So anyway, this Thursday, Summer Games Fest, I'll be doing the live react. I think this is supposed to be like a 2-hour presentation. So if it is, likely what I'll do is I'll live react to it from 11 till 1. Then we'll go on a break. I'll come back from that break and I'll probably do what I call my recap reactions, where I'll go through my notes that I took and we'll talk about each game and I'll give you my more detailed thoughts about each game and everything. We'll have some fun conversation in the chat about it and everything. And then if there's extra time, you know, then maybe we'll just toss on another game and dick around a little bit. I don't even know what it would be. You know, just toss on some game and kill some time with it. Okay? Or just do Q&A. We'll see. All right? And then Thursday night, likely will be more Zelda Link to the Past. Okay? As we head into the end game of the game. And then Friday is a double new release day. If you're not aware, first stream on Friday, I'm going to be playing this horror game, The Quarry, from the makers of Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures Anthology. So Supermassive Games is the name of the game developer. I'm excited for this because, you know, their horror games are very fun to react to and play because it's like watching a horror movie, an interactive horror movie. It really is. I've purposely stayed away from the plot of the game so as not to spoil myself on any of it. So this will be fun and interesting to do together live for the first time starting on Friday. Okay? Friday night, oh, my nose. Friday night is going to be a fun stream because it's another new game. It's going to be Mario Strikers. I think it's called Battle League or something like that. It's the new Mario Strikers game. Now, do I have high hopes for it? No, I really don't. First of all, I'm not really a fan of soccer or football. But typically the first-party Nintendo games are done pretty well. Put it that way. Usually they have a lot of polish, and usually they have a lot of features. We'll see. I think this one is supposedly having a story mode, you know, to play through. If not, then maybe just messing around, going online, playing as random people who I'll probably get destroyed because I don't know anything about this franchise. But it's pretty good variety. So we'll do that on the late stream Friday. Then on Saturday, we'll do more of The Quarry on the first stream. And then Saturday night, we'll do Street Fighter, my weekly Street Fighter session. Okay, Friday Night Fights will actually be on Saturday night this coming week, with only 2 sessions left of the 30th Anniversary Collection before we move on to the new game. Okay? All right, and then Sunday is another React, if you can believe it. Because on Sunday, it's the Microsoft. I keep saying that. Microsoft and Bethesda. I combine the two words. Microsoft, Bethesda, Microsoft. The Microsoft and Bethesda, showcase, digital showcase, which again is supposed to be about another 2-hour show starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that means I will have to change my schedule around a little bit to start early. So I'll probably get up early on Sunday, do a abridged pre-stream, all right, and then jump into reacting to this event. And then, like I said, I'll with the other react of Summer Games Fest, it'll be the same deal. We'll probably react to it, take a break, come back, do my recap reactions, and then after that, if there's time for anything else, you want to do some gaming or you want to do some Q&A or whatever, we'll do it. Okay, so that's 2 streams this week where there's no gameplay. Thursday and Sunday, 2 different react events that I'll be doing. Okay. So, and then of course, we'll have Sunday night, we'll have Monday. Likely trying to wrap things up. If there's any lingering playthroughs I didn't finish, like Uncharted 2 or Zelda, we'll try to wrap those up. Definitely WWE will be done by then. And then we'll have the new playthroughs of The Quarry and Mario Strikers to do. So, what a good combination, right? Another combination of fun stuff coming up this week. Good balance of new stuff, finishing stuff, react events, all kinds of good stuff coming up. I'm excited for this week. I am. This week we're going to get basically all the information we've been waiting for, and we wanted to hear about is coming this week. Summer Games Fest, there's going to be a ridiculous amount of stuff announced, right? As well as with, the Microsoft Bethesda conference. Hopefully we'll get updates on all of the games that they've been developing recently and everything. So it's going to be a very informative week. I feel like if we jump into where we are right now, at this time next week, right, we will have a completely different perspective on everything. We'll know about all the games coming out, all this new stuff, and we'll be excited again. Right? We'll be reinvigorated for the gaming season, which is a good thing. We want to be reinvigorated at this point. It's been pretty slow over the past couple of months. Ever since Elden Ring, essentially, came out and everyone beat it. It's kind of been like real slow going. We want to be reinvigorated by announcements and everything, don't we? I know I do. I don't know about you guys. So, okay. I would like to direct your attention down here because, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we have hit another milestone here on DSPGaming. 612 members is the most members we have ever had on this channel. All right? And I want to say thank you to those of you who become members and those of you who've gifted memberships as of late. I mean, yet another new record. Every day, actually, we've been hitting a new record. So if one person becomes a member today that wasn't a member previous, we're going to actually hit 613. Or again, if one person gifts memberships today, we hit a new record, a new channel record. All right. Now, because we hit this level, you guys have already earned 2 different rewards for this month. And we're only 5 days in. The first reward is a viewer's choice playthrough. Okay? So how does it work? Well, this week coming up, when I come back from my break on Tuesday, so when I return on Wednesday, essentially, all right, I'm going to be posting up 2 threads on a community tab of my page here on YouTube. Okay? The first thread will be for everyone, the public, and the other thread will be members only. All right? And what the thread will be, it's going to have some rules and qualifications in there, but it's going to basically state, this is the thread you use to nominate games for the upcoming Viewer's Choice event. Please post up your nominations. All right? So people will begin to do so. And for probably about a week to a week and a half, people will do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tally up the nominations. The game that's the most nominated by members, by default, will be tossed into the final poll. Okay? Then I'm going to take all the public nominations and I'm going to narrow those down by counting them up. And again, the games that are most nominated are going to make it into a poll. I would think maybe 5 games total, so 1 by the members and 4 by the public, something like that. We'll see. And then we'll run the poll on the community tab, and you guys will pick what game I'm going to be playing. Likely that playthrough will begin in July, because by the time that we get through these couple of weeks of nominations and voting process, it'll already be the end of June. The end of June is actually jam-packed with games, if you can believe it. Just so you guys know, have some perspective here. The end of June has... Oops. The end of June has... the Capcom Fighting Collection. Oh, excuse me. Sonic Origins on June 23rd. The Capcom Fighting Collection on June 24th. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes on the 24th. And I'm on the fence about that one, but it's a possibility. And then Cuphead The Delicious Last Course on June 30th. So there's 4 games at the end of the month that I'm interested in, you know. And so that's going to get us busy. And then maybe heading into July, as things slow down with those releases, we can start with this Viewer's Choice playthrough event, okay? So excited. I hope you guys are too. That's cool. But we have another event to talk about, which we're going to undoubtedly start to discuss in the next couple of weeks. The other event is, what is the next React special marathon event, okay? Now, to be perfectly clear with all of you, all right, after yesterday, I'm mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and I'm done with drama for a while, all right? Now, I'm not saying that I won't go back and react to dramatic stuff about me in the future. In fact, I think it's a given at some point I'm going to go and watch some of the This Is How You Don't plays about me. I really feel like that's something that I should do because I've never really done it. You know, over the years, I've seen portions of them. I've never sat down and actually watched one from start to finish in their entirety. So I think it would be an entertaining and an interesting thing to do to react to those. However, I'm not doing that anytime soon. I am so exhausted with the drama stuff at this point, between the Down the Rabbit Hole react and now the John and Howard react. I am just like, I'm so done with it at this point. I just want to do positive, fun stuff with you guys. So, this next React event, all right, is going to end up being different. We will either react to another documentary off the Frederick Knudsen channel, or I got permission to react to basically anything that June the King has done over the years, and he's done many different documentaries about different content creators and people on the internet. All right, we can do one of those documentaries, react to those, or there's a channel, and I haven't announced it yet, but I will soon. There's a channel that I got permission to react to that deals with things such as the supernatural, or true crime stories, or I don't even want to spoil too much, but that's basically the kind of stuff they deal with. Okay, that would be interesting because that's completely different from anything I've ever done before, right? Imagine watching one of the countdowns from the channel, you know, and reacting to each one of the things in the countdown, creepy things that have happened. Do you think this is real? Do you think this is fake? You know, how could this be explained logically? Is it completely fabricated? You know, it'd be interesting to do that. It really would. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. I feel. So, we will begin to talk about this soon. Not yet, but soon. I'm thinking basically what we'll do is let's focus this next week on the viewer's choice, get that set up, get going, and then we'll start talking on streams about that. And then eventually what we'll do a poll. You guys will vote on what you want, and based on that poll, we'll determine, you know, what the next React event will be. And I said, well, when's the next React event? I don't know yet. I kind of want to take a little bit of a break. I mean, I'm already going to be doing 2 reacts this week alone on gaming. So I don't want to constantly be doing this. As I told you guys, I don't want to constantly be doing react. If I'm doing it all the time, it won't be special anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we just did one. I got 2 coming up this week. Let's give it a rest after that. Maybe bring it back in a couple of weeks' time when things are slower. By the way, we're going to have new releases too. That's the other thing. Like, the React stuff is great when there's nothing going on. But if you're already in the midst of a ton of new game releases, that's definitely going to be my focus. I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, a new game came out today, but day after I'm doing a react. Like, no, we're not doing that. Okay? Okay. So, that being said, thank you for your support so far this month. 5 days into the month, already having a new record for members is outstanding. And like I said, anyone who just becomes a member or gifts memberships today, if we make progress with 1, we've already hit another new record, which is outstanding. Okay. All right, so before we move on, just one last thing. You know, again, thank you guys for yesterday for understanding. It was a very different kind of thing. A lot of people were confused. A lot of people were like, you know, what's going on with the stream was different. There was no info in the stream description, right? And there's nothing, you know, fully demonetized and all of that. It was very confusing. But today we're kind of back to business as usual. And again, I would really appreciate it if you enjoy my content, if you enjoy this channel, if you could support it in any way, as simple as liking the stream or liking this video as you watch it on demand, leaving a comment on this video. That kind of stuff helps for engagement of the channel, and it's free and easy to do. If you want to go above and beyond, you want to become a channel member, gift a membership, that's great. If you want to do a super chat or a super sticker, that's great. If you're watching this on demand after the fact on YouTube, you want to do super thanks on the video to get a highlighted comment, and it's a way to contribute and support the channel if you're on demand viewers. That's great. And of course, tips. Tuesday's my day off. Okay. As you guys know, tips are what give me kind of cash to spend on stuff. So not only do I have my day off on Tuesday, but coming up later this week, I have to buy 2 different new games. So tips in particular would help a lot right now. Yesterday was a day that was basically a wash for me. You know, there's nothing there business-wise. So I gotta, you know, try to hopefully make up for it between today and tomorrow. So if you like the content, if you like everything, you want to support it, and you have the choice, oh man, how should I support Phil right now? Tipping would really be preferred, at least for the next few days, as I head into a new week and my day off on Tuesday, and then buying these new games on Friday. Okay. Now, also speaking to that, if you ever want to help with the cost of games, you can. You have the ability. You can buy credits on either like PlayStation Network or Xbox Live, or to some extent the Nintendo, you know, store as well. Although I don't play Nintendo games as often, it just so happens this week I am playing a Nintendo game on Nintendo Switch. So if you ever were interested in supporting the channel in that way, what you can do is all you need to do is basically buy the credits, digitally, and you can email me with the code to redeem to use said credits. Okay. Now I have a wish list, an Amazon wish list. The thing is, it's really worthless. I hate to say it, it just is, because if you use it, and let's say for example, oh, I think Phil's gonna really enjoy the quarry this week. I'd like to get it for him. Let me buy him some credits. So you go to my wish list. Oh, I'll get Xbox Live credits. What the heck, buy it there. Great. Okay, I'm done. No, you're not, because the wish list is so dumb. It doesn't send me the information. It's so stupid. So you have to purchase the credits, and then you have to email me after the fact with the data you get with the code so that I can redeem it and get the credits. I know. Sounds really stupid, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. There's a day I made my Amazon wish list. It served like no purpose. So, my friends, if you would like to support in that way, you can as well. Okay? All right, that's it. So here's the deal. There's no game news today. There's nothing really going on. So, we can just chill and talk. What I would say is, if you guys want to talk, have any topics you want to discuss today on the pre-stream, I'm all ears. We can do a little Q&A segment. But what I'll do is a quick shout-outs, and then we're going to do that. Okay? So, shout-outs. We start off with Ruby, who did a $10 super chat to start today off. It says, even though I've seen that John and Howard video from years before, seeing you react to it and giving us context makes me think that I just don't want to go back and watch your old content from that time. No offense. Well, again, I've already said this, but I'll say it again. I can look back at the past and all those times that we had together, including all the gameplay we did, the conventions we traveled to and enjoyed going to together and hanging out at, the Project 7 experience of filming and creating this creative series and all of that. I can basically say I can look back at it fondly because I lived it. I was there at the time when it was happening, and those were positive times. It wasn't like, oh, it looked positive to the camera, but then behind the scenes we were all grumpy and hated each other. That's not the case at all. It's quite the opposite, actually, where at that point in our lives we were all having an incredibly great time doing all of it. And so that's how I'll always remember it. You know what I mean? Just funny, Spider Dijon says you should have ended the stream with Don't Look Back in Anger by Oasis. As silly and cheesy as that sounds, that song is a great example. The past is the past. What happened in the past is there. And yes, even though things happened after those events that maybe, weren't great and could have soured relationships or soured things in your life, you can still look back at those moments in time. You know what I'm saying? Very fondly. I do. There's a few times in my life that were good times, and if someone said, you have a chance to re-experience 3 moments of your life, okay, what 3 moments would you like to experience again? All right? Absolutely top 3 would be one of those great fun times that I had with John Howard, maybe doing a co-op or whatever. Absolutely. That would be one of my top 3 probably. That's how much fun it was to me. And, I don't know their experience. I don't know if they feel the same way. Probably not. But to me, that was one of the heights of my life doing that stuff. So I can look back and say at the time, it was great. There's no reason for me to sit here and be, dwelling on the past, so angry that it didn't turn out well in the long term. Instead, I can look back at the good times. And by the way, the good times are immortalized on the internet. I can enjoy them whenever I feel. You guys can. Those moments are not going to go away. Those moments will be there, for millions of people around the world to enjoy at their own leisure whenever they want. So, if anything, that's the good thing that I feel came out of it. All right? B. Stevens did a super chat and says, you've always been fair to John and Howard. It was their fault. That I don't believe at all. If you watch my react, that's completely the opposite of what I say there. I do not think that's the case. I think it's a situation where, really, and I don't know if I even said this yesterday. I felt like the moment that I announced I was moving, that was the doom of it all. Because, number one, if there's already feelings of resentment, right, that I'm not aware of, that, I'm successful on YouTube, I'm making money on YouTube, and these guys are upset, right, that they feel that they're not getting anything out of anything on YouTube, including stuff of mine that I've been in and all of that. It's funny, again, how many times I would really like someone to go and count in that video, how many times money or income was mentioned by those guys who at the beginning of the video say it's not about money, but literally like 50% of the video, the subject matter is money. Okay? But the way I see it is, the moment I moved, there was no chance of that friendship continuing. All right? There's already these feelings of resentment or whatever. The only way you're ever going to hash those out is in person. The only way you're ever going to have things settled is to have things happen, you know, not remotely, not through a text or a phone call or an email or a Skype call. Person to person. You know, like I said, my best interactions I ever had with those guys, John in particular, was person to person. Every week when he came over to do content with me, we had a whole hour to 2 hours that we would just talk before we even turned on a fucking camera. And it was funny because we would do Smart Guys and upload it, and we would do gameplay and upload it. And some weeks people would be like, where the fuck is Smart Guys? What's taking so long? Like, well, we had a conversation. We were having fun, you know, just shooting the shit before we filmed, so it took a little bit longer this week. You know, deal with it, man. It's not a big deal. So, all right. So I don't agree with you at all, B. Stevens. Not Swaggins re-upped his membership for 11 months. Shame on you, Swaggins, for only having 11 months. You don't have your regal crown yet. What's going on? He says, viewer's choice should be the Darkness 1. I never played the Darkness 1. I only played the Darkness 2. And I really liked the Darkness 2. So it stands to reason if I like the Darkness 2, I'll probably like the Darkness 1. So if the Darkness 1 gets nominated and voted on, I'll play the Darkness 1. See what happens. All right, now we get the tips. All right, we start off with an anonymous tipper. We did a $4.20 tip. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Okay. They say, you did great yesterday. You reacted for 8 freaking hours. And, oops, there we go. We could tell you were speaking from the heart. You admitted your own faults, but also you gave your side of the story. It was great, and it shows how you've grown over the years. I hope you guys can tell the difference. Seriously. I hope that you guys can tell the difference between who I was and who I am now. You know, like I said, that 2017 year, when everything changed, the kind of content I made, all right, the way I made the content, the life changes behind the scenes that happened with me, all right, that was a year that completely transformed me. I matured. I realized how stupid a ton of shit in my past that I had done was. I actively decided and made a choice to change who I was going to be for the better. And I like to feel like every day I'm improving a little bit as much as I can. You know, dependent on your feedback and your criticism, which I very much welcome and appreciate now, because it's through that I can only make myself better. If I just sit here in a echo chamber of positivity, I will never improve. I need to know what are the opportunities of things that I can do better. I need to know that constructive criticism, by the way, not, you know, trolling and disgusting stuff, but constructive criticism is always welcomed and valid, and it makes me a better person. But I'm happy that now I can face those things from the past and address them and admit when I was doing things incredibly stupidly, because I used to be the kind of person that couldn't do that. I used to be the kind of person that was so obstinate, so stubborn, and so, oh, my shit doesn't stink, that if you said, oh, you're doing this wrong, why are you doing it? I would be like, oh, fuck you, I do everything right, and blah, blah, blah. That's how I was, you know? And it took a lot of years to get that to change, you know, a lot of discussions, a lot of things that happened to me that dumped me some humble pie as well, you know? So now I really feel I'm very different than how I was back then. That's a good thing. And I'm happy now to be in a better place. Like I said in that react yesterday, you know, some points in my life I've been down, I've been depressed, drinking crazy amounts, doing fucked up stuff, you know, and that's not me anymore, thank God. So I'm in a better place now. I hope you guys see that, you know, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to at least watching my side of the story. And again, you know, me fessing up to the shit that I really fucked up, because I know I did. So many times in the 8 hours there that we did yesterday. So many times I was like, dude, I can't believe I said that. Like, what the fuck? I mean, at one point I put the words asshole in giant capital letters on the screen because that's how I feel about myself at that time, you know? Okay. So thank you for the tip. Whoever that was anonymous tip. Snow crawled to the $1.50s, and despite all the shit in the world, feels amazing to finally be able to go out like normal and have fun on the weekends or after work with friends and family. You should try to take some time for yourself and Kat to go out and socialize. You'll feel better. Thank you, Snow Carl, for the tip. Okay. Chocoboco tipped $1.50 and says, without getting into details, all I did was listen. And after that, not only do I like you as an entertainer, but as a person, and Vietnamese food is delicious. You know, I feel it is. I don't want to hate on Vietnamese food because what I ordered was not to my liking. The banh mi sandwich was actually good. It's just, like I said, it was odd to me because this mouse is really starting to piss me off. I think I'm going to have to get a new one soon because it's not working that well anymore. No, but the banh mi sandwich itself, like the ingredients, the components, were good. My problem was it was ahi tuna. That was a seared tuna. I've never had a seared tuna like that before. I've either had tuna like tuna fish cooked, or I've had the raw tuna in a piece of sushi, but I never had a giant hunk of tuna seared like that. So I'm eating it and I'm like, it's just so weird. I'm not used to this flavor, you know, and I feel like that's an acquired taste. Like if I keep eating seared tuna, I'd probably like it. But just having it for the first time in that sandwich was probably the worst way to have it. My entire face was being covered, completely covered in sauce as I was trying to eat the sandwich. So, and by the way, my whole face stunk to high heaven when I was done eating it. I was like, oh God, I was scrubbing it with a washcloth, and it still smelled for the rest of the day. I couldn't get the stink out of my face. Ugh. But I'll be honest, that oxtail soup, first of all, it doesn't look appetizing to begin with. And then on top of that, it was disgusting. That one sip I had, I wanted to retch. It was bad. Now, some people might like that. Maybe it's an acquired taste again, but yuck, not for me. Anyway, thank you, Chocoboco, for the $1.50 tip. And then finally, another anonymous tipper tipped me $1.50. Says, it doesn't make sense to me. They felt that way. Again, he's talking about John and Howard. After Project 7, they would continue to do co-op or even go to your party. Again, that was kind of the point I was making is people are like, oh, well, you know, they had all these issues with you. You just should have known. You should have known that they wanted money. You should have known that they didn't like this and didn't like that and this and that. And it's like, I'm not psychic. Not, you know, I wish I was. Because if I was, I would have said, hey, something going wrong. Let's bring it up and get it out of the way. Like I said at the time, I gladly would have paid them if they really were needing money for being involved in Project 7. I don't care. Just take it. I made nothing on it. I don't care. Just take the money. That way we can be happy together and not have this resentment. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing is Project 7 was 2012. I didn't move till mid-2014. It wasn't like, oh, they were upset about Project 7 and everything came to a screeching halt. It was like, no, John Still Weekly was coming to my house. We were doing Smart Guys. We were doing gameplay. We still continued to travel to conventions and things together. You know, we were traveling. I mean, shit. We went to WrestleMania. We went to Screwtack Gaming Convention. That was in 2013. That was the next year. So the question is, if there were so many issues in 2012, how did everything continue as normal in 2013? And again, all you can do is guess. You know, I get the feeling that there were some people involved like Howard and Respect the Pact who were angry at the situation for certain reasons. I don't think John was angry about Project 7 really at all after the fact, but I moved, right? And when I moved out of Connecticut to Washington, I was now separated from those guys. And what happens? Oh, it's an us versus him mentality now, you know? Oh, he's gone. We stayed behind. We're buddies. We stick up for each other. While he's gone, he took off, right? And as much as, you know, they can say, oh, well, there's no resentment that he moved. We wish him the best. At the same time, there's situations where John on his podcast says things like, so OJ, now you're not going to abandon me like that, right? It's like, wait, what? You know, Um, and they reference so many times the circle of friends that they have in Connecticut. So their circle of friends are gossiping about me, are talking about me constantly, and essentially shitting on me constantly once I move. You see? So it's kind of like once that was it. I told you that it was the whole thing was destined to fail once I moved because that separation now creates an almost like him versus them mentality, which didn't exist on my end. All right, but apparently it did to them. And it's just ridiculous that it got to that point. But you're right. Why, if there was all these feelings of resentment, pain, unfairness that they had against me, how on earth did we continue to do things together? It doesn't make sense, right? So anyway, it is what it is. It's done with. Thank God we got it done yesterday. So that, yeah, like I said, it's pretty much done now. We're not going to keep talking about it. I said what I had to say, okay? All right, so now we've gotten through the contribution so far. Stupid nose, stupid sinuses. Let's get to some Q&A quickly. We'll do a little bit of Q&A here. And we'll take a quick break for me to use the restroom because I have to use the restroom before we start. And then we'll jump into a nice chill Skyrim stream. Sound good? Ooh. Okay. Jade, it's all good, dude. Like I said, I'm good. I'm just I'm physically exhausted. My throat is physically exhausted from talking all day yesterday, and my sinuses are swollen. That's why I sound like this. It's not like, you know, I'm in no pain or anything right now. Outside of that, I just want to have a nice chill day with you guys today. I do not use hair dye. No, I do not. I do not use hair dye of any kind. Did Kat try the oxtail? No. She was just as repulsed as I was. You know, I took the sip. It was disgusting. She had no desire to try it. So. What does DSP stand for? Dipshit Phil. Do I have any Pacific Northwest tour spots to recommend? I really like the Pop Culture Museum that's in downtown Seattle. There's a lot of fun exhibits that they have there that are rotating around over the years that I've lived here. I've seen a Lego exhibit, a horror exhibit, a sci-fi exhibit featuring both Star Wars and Star Trek, a fantasy exhibit, video game exhibit, a Jimi Hendrix exhibit, a Nirvana exhibit. A lot of fun stuff in that regard. And it rotates out, so when you go there, like today, and then you go there in 2 years, it's different, which is nice. I definitely recommend Pike Place Market. Okay? Pike Place Market is a outdoor market, but it also has an indoor segment. The outdoor portion has all kinds of, like, arts, crafts, artwork, but also all kinds of stuff, like food and dining. It's good. And then when you go indoors, there's a whole bevy of independent shops. You know, you can go to places like knickknacks, collectibles. There's a comic book store in there. And then when you walk down the market, because it's built into the side of a cliff, as you walk down these stairs down the market, you end up on the waterfront. And when you're on the waterfront, there's a pier that has a ton of shit to do, including a really fun aquarium, ferry rides, really good dining. Like there's a giant Ivar's dining there. Oh, it's a good place, man. That's what I would recommend. I definitely like the Pop Culture Museum. I definitely like Pike Place Market and the waterfront. Randy Disher says, is this where the giant wall of bubblegum is? No. The wall of gum is a complete waste of everyone's time. All it is a really dumb thing where people start sticking gum to a wall and just kept doing it. And people think it's an attraction. It's not. You go there, you're like, this is disgusting. You stick gum, you leave. There's no point in going to it. I never would. All the online reviews for it say this is the dumbest thing ever. Why does anyone talk about this, or even, like, why does it exist? The Fallen to the Super Chat. Says, hope all is well. Great stream yesterday. Thank you to the Fallen for the Super Chat. I appreciate that. The only fallout from yesterday is my voice. My voice doesn't sound good today. From talking all day yesterday, you know, of course it's going to have a toll on me. And my left sinus is swollen, even though I already have allergy medication in me. My left sinus is swollen, so it's even worse, you know, compounded by that. But hopefully it'll go down during today. Yes, interestingly enough, I have been to Disneyland, but it's not what you think. I went to Disneyland 20 years ago. I had went to California and stayed with my friend who lived in Orange County, California, to go to one of the earliest fighting game tournaments ever. It was actually the first Evo, the first one ever in the early 2000s, okay? But while we were there, he had a friend who worked at Disneyland, and he got us some free passes, so we went to Disneyland. The thing was, it was me and two of my friends, all in our early, like, 20s. What the fuck are you doing at Disneyland together, right? So they wanted to go on roller coasters and stuff. I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, I'd like to walk around and see the whole park. Maybe we do like, everyone wanted to go to that Haunted Mansion ride, and they're like, we don't want to do that. So we were there. I'm not kidding. We were probably at Disneyland for a grand total of an hour and a half, if that, and we left with our free passes. So now, it's like, man, in the current day, I would absolutely love to go to Disneyland with my wife and have a nice vacation. And maybe we will be able to do that in the long term. Maybe not. I don't know. 672, why are you talking about horse semen? What the fuck are you talking? What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay then. I was not expecting to see 672 talk about horse semen in my stream chat today. I'm just saying. That was probably not on my list of expected occurrences. Gray Fox, I don't think we need to talk about Mr. Wizard. I think he's been sufficiently canceled from the Street Fighter community and the internet in general. I don't think we need to be bringing him up again today. Okay. Anything else? No one's tagging me. Did I ever play in a Smash tournament? No. I never played Smash at a competitive level. At the time when I was a competitive player, Smash was not in the tournament scene. It was actually added, kind of mid to late 2000s, and it became a staple at EVO after that. It was very funny that when they were trying to add it to EVO, there was an insane amount of backlash. People saying, oh, Smash is not a competitive fighting game. How dare you add that to the EVO lineup? I remember there was huge controversy around it. But, no, I never played it in any competitive capacity. Getting a bunch of random questions that really aren't very pertinent to anything. Here's one. Maximus Fisher says, am I surprised Street Fighter 6 is going to come to Xbox? No. Because I think they realized the giant mistake they made last gen with, Street Fighter 5 not coming to Xbox One. Xbox has always been a huge portion of the player base for these fighting games. And pretty disappointing that they just went all PlayStation. They missed out. They did. They absolutely would have had way more sales if it was cross-platform. It just makes sense to be cross-platform. I don't understand why they were limiting themselves. Although I think, wasn't it true that Sony had a major part in the partnership? Like maybe Capcom made some money on it or something. I'm not sure. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, Kat did watch some of the stream yesterday. She certainly didn't watch the whole thing. I mean, fucking 8 hours. Plus, she did watch Feasting with the King, and she watched certain portions of the stream. And, here's the thing. Do you think that my wife is happy that I was in this office for 12 hours yesterday? Sequestered myself to do this shit. Yesterday was not a normal day. We didn't even have any time together, really. Because I was in here all day. Like, normally we have some time between the streams. As long as she's home, to have time together, have dinner together, and everything. We didn't have that yesterday. All right. By the time I was done, it was essentially time for us to get ready to start ready to go to bed. So, you know, it was a day when it was a very different situation. She understood because, you know, she had been, you know, watching from time to time, and she knew that the subject matter was important. But she's like, so you're done with that crap now, right? Like, I was like, yeah, I am so done with drama. I can't do that shit again. That was so draining and so much. I cannot be doing that shit. Nathan Smith says, have you seen the new Winnie the Pooh horror movie trailer? No, but I know it exists, but I haven't seen it yet. Ah. Oh, that's right, Jade. He says that there's a WWE pay-per-view. Duh, I can't speak. A WWE pay-per-view tonight, Hell in a Cell. So he says he might be in and out of the stream. It's perfectly fine. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not going to be watching it, of course. Expand Dong says, I played the Mario Strikers online beta. There's a lot of tech. There's in-depth tutorials. FYI, choose auto instead of manual for teammate switching. Huh. So it's a very technical game, huh? Interesting. You know, knowing that I don't know any of the rules of soccer, I'm sure this is going to go well. Do I think Resident Evil 4 will turn out well? Yes, I do. Do I think Bray Wyatt will return tonight at Hell in a Cell? I have no idea. I don't even know what's going on at Hell in a Cell. I know the only matches I know for Hell in a Cell is Cody and Seth, because that's been hyped on social media for like weeks and weeks. Outside of that, I don't even know a single match going on at Hell in a Cell tonight, so I don't know. I've answered this question a million times. I'll answer it again. If my wife ever wants to come in here and be a part of my content, she's always welcome. There's an open door policy where if she ever feels like she wants to do that, she can come in and do it. But her like every time we talk about it, it's the same answer. Is the moment she steps foot in here and gets on camera, that's just ammo for trolls, right? They already say and do so many horrendously bad things about her on the internet, even though she has zero internet presence, right? Zero. That God forbid that they actually give her more ammo to do shit with, right? So why bother? And there you go. Expand Dong says Mario Strikers is made by a Western dev next level games instead of Mario Golf or Tennis, which are by Japanese devs, Camelot, so the skill ceiling is higher in Strikers, I think. Okay. Still in Shadows. What the? You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what? You're an idiot. All right, guys. You know what? Since I got to take a quick break to use the restroom anyway, let's end the pre-stream, and let's take that break. And like I said, it'll be a nice, relaxing stream of Skyrim today. Relaxing fun. Thank goodness we can kick back and interact and relax and have a good time, rather than it being super serious shit today. I really need a nice, relaxing session with you guys. So, thank you for watching, and let's get going. Sounds good.